Hello, and welcome to another episode of the ÉIC Intern Survival Guide podcast. My name is Victor, and I'm an intern with the graphic design and sponsorship departments, and I'm from the United States.
Hello, my name is Irene, I am from Italy, and I am from the video producer department.
We're going to present 5 movies each that we think have really strong autumn vibes, and I think we can start out by talking a little bit about what we think autumn vibes are. So, Irene, what makes a movie have autumm vibes for you?
Well, I don't know. For me, it's mostly memories connected to the movie. So when I watched them, and they throw me back to, for example, autumnal vibes when I was in my bed and it was kind of cold or cozy.
Yeah.
In my room, and just watch the movie, and then that movie for me is autumnal because I watched it in autumn time, and also the colors, like the color palette of the movie. For example, if it's more brown or yellow, what is it for you?
No, I was just gonna build off of what you said. That's a really good point because when I was picking autumn movies, I think that nostalgia, remembering things that have gone by or have been lost, is a big theme of what defines autumn as a season for me. And I think that's what a lot of authors, that's how a lot of authors or literary figures see autumn too. Oh, and also, I was going to say, so I agree with you, but I also think Halloween, for me, is a very autumn.
Okay. So my first movie for today is Delicatessen, and it's directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet and Marc Caro, co-directed by Marc Caro. It's a French movie, and Jean-Pierre Jeunet also directed Amélie, which is a very, very well-known French movie. And so the reason I picked this movie is, first of all, because it's one of my favorite in general, and also it's very well connected to the autumn vibes. It's a sort of a fantasy movie. It's set in like a dystopic post-war France, and the characters are all very bizarre, and the premise is about, so there is this former clown who's the main actor, and he arrives in this lost, ghosty hotel, and here he meets a lot of weird, strange characters, like a butcher, an old man that fabricates like weird toys. It's all about his life in this hotel, and then eventually there are like these weird characters that are called, I don't remember specifically the name. Well, they are like excavating a tunnel in the underground. But
your movie also sounds very Halloween to me. There's like a lot of like very strange characters. There's like a clown. There's like
it's foggy most of the time. You can see it's basically only set in the hotel.
So what is number 2 on your list?
My number 2 on the list is still a French movie, and it's called Le Triplet de Belleville, and it's from Sylvain Chomet. It's a animated movie from the 2000s, and I think I would say it's one of my favorite animated movies. Not because I haven't watched it recently, but it's just like those type of movies that still remain connected to your memory, even if you watched them a long time ago. And I have very good memories with my brother related to the movie, because I used to watch it a lot with him in the cassette, and it just gives me autumnal vibe. The main character is like this tall, weird man that goes in the bike.
2003 was the year that I was born, so...
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
I mean, these movies are all like from like our childhood, I guess.
Yes.
But I was also going to say that I think it's funny because I'm a really big fan of 2000s cinema. Like, I think most of my movies are actually from the 2000s. Moving on to number 3 on our list. So what's your third movie?
My third movie is Magnolia from Paul Thomas Anderson, which many of you I think will know or already watched it. And it's from 1999. Also, there is a very, very famous scene in the movie where there are literally frogs raining from the sky, which is like the most iconic scene. And
that's so autumn, I feel like. I don't know why.
It's so autumn. The whole movie is like the autumn vibe. Also, it's very melancholic, like literally. I think it's like the best adjective to describe that movie. And I think autumn gives you back those type of vibes. So that was my choice.
Okay, so Yeah, I guess we're moving on to the fourth movie on our list.
Yeah.
And for you, that would be...
That would be The Hunt from Winterberg. And it's actually a movie from 2012. And, well, it's set in autumn, first of all. And...
Wait, how do you know that, though?
It's in the movie. It's
like, that's so funny.
Yeah.
When they tell you...
the season...
Yeah.
Because it's during the movie, there's like a hunt season thing. And he goes hunting.
Oh.
Also. And it's set in autumn.
Yeah, it's funny because I can remember so many movies that are either have summer in the title or are set during the summer. Like, you know, they have like a title card that tells you, oh, summer 19 something something something. But there's so few movies that tell you like autumn or winter. But that's cool. Yeah.
Okay, Victor, what's your next movie?
Well, thank you for asking. My first movie on my list is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and it was directed by French director Michel Gondry in 2004, based on a screenplay by Charlie Kaufman. But for me, this movie has autumn vibes because, I mean, a lot of the movie is also set during winter, and I'm sure there's some parts that are set in fall too, but the characters are just, they're wearing cold weather clothing all throughout. And on top of that, a really big part of the movie is just, you know, like remembering like a love or relationship that you had that was like really bittersweet and that you had lost it, but also coming back to it. So I think there's a lot of nostalgia and longing in there, which I think is very fall to me, combined with the wearing the cold weather and the seasons that are shown in the film. I mean, yeah, and I think the colors in the movie are also more, they're not super bright, so that seems very autumn to me as well. Jim Carrey, I feel like he usually does a lot of very funny comedic roles. Like I'd seen him in what's that movie where he's trapped in that world?
The Truman Show.
Yeah, The Truman Show. Yeah, I saw him in that. People think he's mostly just comedy, but it was really cool to see him in that role too. I mean, there was a lot of comedy in the movie as well, so yeah.
Okay, so what's your second movie?
My second movie is Jean Dillemont, 23 Quai du Commerce, 1080 Brussels, which is, you know, Chantal Akerman's, some people would say, masterpiece. It was voted #1 on the Sight and Sound poll of the greatest movies of all time. And yeah, for me, this one is just, it's just super autumn vibes, you know, like they're all wearing sort of cold weather clothes in the movie. I was talking with someone about how in the movie you can tell that it's either sort of in the fall or in the winter turning to the spring, and I feel like it definitely just feels more like the fall, you know, there's no snow, and also the color palette of the movie is quite muted, and there's a scene in which, you know, Jean Dillemont and her son, the character in the movie, they eat dinner and then they go outside for a walk and it's already pitch black outside. Like you can't even see the surrounding buildings. So I think that's super cool.
What's your third movie, Victor?
Yeah, so my third movie is Nosferatu, directed by Werner Herzog in 1979. I feel like I don't have to explain this one much because it's just so, I mean, I'm sort of going the Halloween direction with this one. But the point is the movie is really gothic feeling, very creepy feeling. You know, like a lot of people talk about the 1922 Nosferatu, which I actually haven't seen yet, which is, I think, more so like the classic one. It was the first Nosferatu movie. But I think the 1979 one is like super iconic, you know.
What does it give you autumnal vibes?
Well, like I said, it's mostly, I think, about the Halloween thing, you know. It's just very, I don't know, yeah. See, because there's no snow in the movie, but the movie's also very gloomy. And to me, if there's no snow, but it's very gloomy, that kind of equals autumn for me. But it's just everything, you know. It's like the fact that it's about Count Dracula. And of course, that's like Halloween vibes, you know. And Isabelle Adjani, you know, she has like this really pale, like really like goth makeup on, you know, like this eyeshadow, and her skin is super pale. And it's also set in like the 1800s, which is also very gothic.
Okay, so what's your fourth movie, Victor?
So my fourth movie is La Chimera by directed by Alice Rohrwacher in 2023. And it stars Josh O'Connor, who I think is an awesome actor. Yeah, I've only seen him in a few other movies, but I think he's great. But the movie is really hard for me to describe. I mean, Josh O'Connor plays this, like, I think he's a British archaeologist, like this washed-up British archaeologist who's in Italy, but he's like living with his dead girlfriend's family or something like that. It's very gloomy, but see, there's also a lot of mystical elements in it. You know, there's this sense of surrealism and magical realism. For example, there's this one scene in which he uses a dowsing rod to find like this like buried treasure. And a dowsing rod, if you don't know what that is, it's like a curved stick, and they would use it in like medieval Europe, or it's a very like magical thing, but like it's like use it to like find treasures in the ground or like water in the ground or things like that. And this stick is supposed to lead you to where it is. I mean, everyone in the movie is sort of lost and desperate in some way. You know, it's not a perfect world in any way.
No.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing to say. Actually, that's.
Does that make sense to you? Like, does
absolutely,
that?
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
That's exactly what you feel. It's like everything is kind of. It's a very nihilist.
Yeah, because archaeology is a big theme in the movie, and it seems like the movie is filled with like fragments or remnants of the past, and those sort of like intersect with each other, you know. Yeah. And I swear there were like autumn leaves on the ground in the movie, like in the forest. When he's using the dowsing rod, there's like red and orange leaves on the ground.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm misremembering, but
yeah, it's true. It's true. Okay, Victor, so what's your last movie?
Yeah, so my last movie is Coraline, directed by Henry Selick in 2009, and I feel like I just don't even need to explain this one. I mean, this one is also animated, like the triplet. No, yeah, triplet, right? Yeah, and but I mean, it's Coraline. It's so iconic, and for me, this is autumn vibes for so many reasons. You know, I mean, Halloween is like almost like a direct, like the aesthetics of Halloween, they seem to be like a direct influence in the movie. Like when she's in the parallel universe and she's in her parents' garden, you know, there's like these Halloween pumpkins everywhere. There's like these lights, these really mystical creatures. And I think the whole idea of the parallel universe with all the blue and the orange and like the button eyes, that is really Halloween and autumn to me. Yeah, and one more thing about Caroline that's a really fun fact is that she also uses a dowsing rod in the movie I think she's like playing with like the stick or something, but I think that it's interesting in both Caroline and La Chimera there's a dowsing rod. So I think that element of magicality is, again, very autumn. But that's it from us. Yeah, these are our 5 movies from each of us. One of my honorable mentions that didn't make it to the list because it wasn't indie enough of a movie was Twilight, directed in 2009 by Catherine Hardwicke. And I just don't even have to explain that one. It's like the autumn movie. Yeah, it's like it's more autumn than anything that I've mentioned, even Coraline. Maybe not Coraline, but still, yes.
Nice choice.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you
for
listening to us.
Yeah, thank you for listening to us.